Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another marvelous video. Today we're going to look into an interesting character from the comic book series Spawn. Spawn has been talked about for decades now because of Todd McFarlane's promise of a live-action film. However, it doesn't seem like it'll happen anytime soon. But that doesn't mean that we cannot enjoy the characters from this series in other ways. This is exactly why we're going to take a look at a tragic anti-hero from the series, Tremor. We'll look into his origin story and go through all his appearances in the comics. So grab your favorite snack, settle in, and join me as we look into his life. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Tragic origin story. Richard Masello was a loyal enforcer to the Mafia and an associate of the Don of New York, Tony Twist. He was always the muscle, whether it was backing up his brother David or working for Tony. He was just not the guy you messed with. But when he wanted to get out of this life of crime, instead of letting him walk away, Twist had him kidnapped and shipped off to Germany. There he became the test subject for Project Tremor, the Mafia's first attempt at creating a super soldier. Now, this was before the infamous Overkill project, and the whole thing was basically just a brutal experiment. The German scientists experimented on him, and they used gene manipulation and cybernetic splicing. This ended up being a total failure. This turned him into something monstrous, and he ended up looking more like a demon than a man. He was dubbed Tremor. He still had his free will intact, and he hated what he was turned into. This incident took away any loyalty that he had left for the mob. Now, Twist didn't take this very lightly. In retaliation for his actions, he wiped out Richard's entire family except for David. But Richard, who was now known as Tremor, didn't stay caged in the lab for too long. He broke free from there. Twist misled David by telling him that Tremor is the one responsible for the death of his family, including Richard. David was now convinced that Tremor, who was his own brother, was a monster, and he made it his mission to chase him across the globe and hunt him down. Tremor and Spawn. Now that we've discussed how Richard became Tremor, let's take a look at when he first showed up in the Spawn comics, and how he ends up meeting Spawn. He first appeared in issue number 25, which was titled Tremor. It starts off in the alley with David Brewy, who seems to be threatening someone in the street. He tells them that Spawn needs to leave their territory, and if he doesn't, there will be blood. He then goes back to tell his boss, Tremor, that he did his job successfully. Tremor is excited by this news. He wants to get revenge on Tony Twist for what he did to him. In Queens, Wanda tells Terry that she's sick of not being aware of things going on in her partner's life, and she wants to go with him and understand the risks he puts himself in for work. On the other hand, a homeless man is seen going to ask Spawn for help. Soon we're taken to Tremor's lair, and outside this, we can see a red cape and a shape that looks like Spawn watching from the window ledge. Tremor sees this and assumes that it's Spawn. He leaps out to attack him, only to find that it's just a wooden cutout. Spawn proceeds to ask him what he wants, to which Tremor realizes that he doesn't care about his people or those on the street. All he wants is to know everything that Spawn knows about Twist. He thinks that because Twist is after him, Spawn would definitely know something, because Twist wouldn't get involved otherwise. He tells Spawn that he wants revenge for all that he put him through. Spawn ends up giving him files that he's satisfied with, and Tremor flees from there. We see Spawn wondering if the next time he meets Tremor will be as a friend or as a foe. In issue number 46, titled Revenge, Tremor shows up again along with Twist. The issue starts off with a man getting killed by Twist's men. Twist is seen smiling about killing the man who has been stealing from him. Right then, he gets a call from his boss Luciano Bartino, who asks for his property Overkill back. Twist is worried because his boss is a dangerous man. Soon his men start getting killed all over the city, and their heads are sent to him. This makes him angry. He assumes that it's Spawn, and he orders a hit on him in retaliation. Elsewhere, we see Tremor coming out of a toilet and threatening a guy called Vinny Bolbani to give away where Twist is. Soon he goes to confront Tony and threatens to get revenge on him for the death of his family and for turning him into a monster. Twist reveals that he has still kept his brother David alive, and if something happens to him, David will be killed. So Tremor leaves so he can plan and come back for him. On the other hand, Twist is also planning to make adjustments and deliver Tremor as a brand new version of Overkill, one that doesn't have any free will. Tremor ends up heading toward New York so he can ask Spawn to help him take Tony down. Issue 47, titled Twisted, follows the two going after Twist and finding David. The issue starts where we left off. Tremor thinks that giving the names of Spawn's family who are under surveillance that he took from Vinny would be enough to get him to help, but Spawn wants more details and sends Tremor to find the man in charge of their surveillance. He brings the man, Billy, to Spawn, who reveals that Tony is surveilling them because he thinks Terry Fitzgerald might be Spawn, but after he knew otherwise, he still kept it up because he thought they were connected. Spawn then decides to help Tremor attack Twist and save his brother. Inside the mansion, Tony is already expecting Tremor. He sees it as an opportunity to capture him and send him to Sicily as a replacement for Overkill, and he has a secret weapon on his side, David. He's now working for Twist and believes that Tremor is responsible for the death of his family. Twist has been manipulating him this entire time, and he's trying to turn him against his brother. Tremor arrives as expected, and he's shocked to see David there, working for Twist. David reveals that the Mafia rescued him and is helping him out. He doesn't believe it when Tremor reveals he's Richard. He continues to attack Tremor. He also reveals that unfortunately he can't kill him, as Tremor needs to take Overkill's place. Spawn enters and assumes David is one of the bad guys and ends up crippling one of his legs. This causes strain in their relationship. Tremor came up again in the comics as a member of the second reincarnation of Brigade, the superhero team. However, this did not go on for long because the series was cancelled soon. He comes back to meet Jim Downing, who he's trying to find so he can be cured. He eventually finds him, and Downing ends up using his powers to turn him back. The character has not been part of this series for a while, and that's probably because of legal issues around the character of Tony Twist. Tremor's main arc is chasing after him, so without him, it doesn't make sense for Tremor to appear. He did, however, make a small appearance in the latest arc, when Spawn is being tortured. However, that turned out to be an illusion, and it was actually a low-level demon who was pretending to be Tremor. Breaking down his powers. Alright, we've seen all his story arcs. Let's take a look at his powers now. Thanks to the genetic and cybernetic experiments he was forced to endure, he turns out to be extremely powerful. His abilities are very similar to Overkill. He's very strong. We see this consistently as he can hold himself against Spawn. Their strengths seem to be on par with each other. He also has incredible speed. It easily surpasses our regular standards and can also probably match Spawn's speed. It also seems like bullets don't affect him very much, or any weapon for that matter. Because of his mutation, he's gained the ability to regenerate and can heal from injuries very quickly. His mutation also ends up giving him really sharp fangs and claws that can basically cut through any hard surface and even metal. He looks like a character that's straight out of our nightmares. His body seems very huge and bulky. He was already the muscle for the mob before he transforms, and his mutation just makes him that much more unstoppable. The guy is massive. It looks like he was made to destroy things. He basically looks monstrous, like he was always on edge, and is going to rip someone's head off anytime. If you ran into this guy in some dark alley, well, you probably won't be running too long. Marvelous verdict. Well, with that, guys, we've come to the end of yet another fun video. Tremor surely has served as an interesting character to take a look at. He started off as just another guy who was part of the Mafia, helping bad guys, and ended up as an anti-hero, fighting his enemies with Spawn as his partner sometimes. The two have a very uneasy tension between them, especially after the falling out that happened because Spawn attacked his brother by mistake. He's not a very prominent character, but it would surely be fun to see him back on Spawn's side more often. What do you guys think about him? Would you have liked it if he appeared more in the Spawn comics? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed watching this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.